This podcast should not be listened to whilst driving or operating heavy machinery. This is Living Lightly with Jenny Light. Yogic philosophy, guided meditations, and pranayamas. Please subscribe for all future podcasts. Welcome to today's session. Enjoy.
Hello, lovely people. I wanted to speak a little bit about the world events that are going on at the moment. The coronavirus that has had us stopped up in our homes across the planet. And I wanted to give a little bit of comfort at this time. I know that as all of the events pan out, it can be quite traumatic watching the news and all of the difficulties that are involved. For those of us who are in our homes, I'd like this to be a recognition of an inner time to go within, a valuable God-given inner time to go within, to meditate. It's like an inner retreat. And in the session today, I'm giving you the tools with which to make a transformation that lets go of the old in order to be prepared to let in the new, to move into a higher aspect of your own self, unfettered by the binding cords of the past. So look on this time as a God-given opportunity, for it is often within most difficult times that we actually receive or find that gold within us. Perhaps the rest of the time we are far too busy looking outward into the world to really be open and receptive, to have a mind to see that glory when it comes in. Taking the time today to go through this short meditation to reconnect with your inner self, your highest aspect. Bringing praying hands together. And we're just going to start by connecting heart and head. So we're bringing the praying hands together and connecting to our brow. Taking the light of the brow and connecting it down into the heart. Taking the light of the heart, filling into the hands and connecting to the brow. Let the light of the hands and the heart pour into the brow, and then taking the light of the brow and bringing it back down into the heart. Let the light of the head pour into the heart space. One more time, letting the hands fill up with the light from the heart. It's as if you are opening a flower of the heart, allowing light to flood into the hands. The hands then become illuminated, and then taking the hands up towards the brow, letting the light from the heart pour into the brow, filling the head space. And then taking the light of the brow, that's the light of wisdom and reason, down into the feeling of the heart. And then we'll start the prayer. Divine Father, Divine Mother, beloved God, fill us with Thy light, Thy love, and Thy illuminating wisdom. Help us to see Thy path through life as always guided and supported. That You are there, closer than the breath, contained as a glorious seed within my heart. Help us to remove the dross of eons from our hearts. Help us to perceive our true reality is Thee. Om Shanti, peace. And then just letting the hands rest having the eyes closed and being aware that the body is breathing. We're going to use the purifying stepped exhale, which is to have a long, smooth inhale, and the exhale is cut. So it's breathe out, pause, breathe out, pause, breathe out, pause. This gives us more opportunity to clear the dross. So starting by having that smooth inhale, and on the exhale starting to breathe out, then pause the breath, breathe out a little bit more, pause the breath, and breathing out again. You can have as many cuts as you inspirationally wish to have in the exhale. I suggest that you have 2, but allow it to be what is comfortable for yourself. You could have 3. So you have that long, smooth inhale, visualizing that you're breathing in white light. If you like, pause that white light on the brow, the seat of wisdom. And then as you breathe out, allow each cut to allow the dross within to bubble up into that pause, so that the next part of the exhale breathes it away. So you're breathing in incremental parts, any darkness covering the light of your own soul. So it's inhale, pure white light. Hold that light on the seat of wisdom on the brow. Breathing out, pause. Any dross that arises, breathe it out on the next part of the exhale. Try to keep your focus on the spiritual clearing that this breath is. So it's the inhale, holding the light of intensity on the brow, and then breathing out. Pause allows any bubbling up within of something that is clearing. The next part of the exhale breathes it away. The next pause, any bubbling up that arrived, just breathe it away on the next part of the exhale. And having the spiritual wisdom and the strength to just let things go. And asking yourself, if it's challenging, do I really want to still hold on to this? Is that what's going to sustain me during the next few years? Do I really want to keep this? Start your next breath with firmer resolve. Just simply breathing it away. You'll notice that it is the heart that holds on. Allowing your breath to allow the heart to open, just to simply let it go. Doesn't have any psychoanalyzing, just letting go. It's as easy as opening the fingers and letting it fly away in the wind. You could imagine, if you like, that you were holding this dross that was being cleared. Was like letting a dandelion seed as gossamer light just flow away in the wind. This mar of soot on your soul just blows away. So it's that visualization of breathing in white light onto the brow. Hold the intensity, that is the wisdom, the will, the strength, and then breathing out, smooth. Pause the breath. Next part of the breath allows any soot to blow away in the wind of the breath. Pause, blow away. Inhale light. Hold the intention on the brow to let go. Breath out. Pause. Blow away. Pause. Blow away. There are times where it sometimes helps to hold the breath a little bit longer on the brow so that you allow that percolation of what you're just about to let go of to hold on the brow. The energy for it is building before you breathe out. So that you're pulling together your will and intention on the brow. So it's breathing in white light, hold onto the brow, hold the power that builds, and then smoothly breathing out. Pause, breathe away, pause, breathe away. It helps as well, if you know ujjayi breath, to have a slight constriction in the throat where you're using the breath in a focused manner. Ujjayi breath is a warrior breath, and the warrior has great strength of mind and is able to direct the will. The warrior is also fearless. So you could use that ujjayi breath as you breathe in, a smooth inhale, taking the awareness onto the brow. Hold the power, the light on the brow. And then when your body wishes to exhale, breathing out smoothly using ujjayi. It's very slight. Pause the breath. Breathing out with ujjayi breath. Pause the breath. Breathing out with ujjayi breath. Experiment with that slight constriction of the throat. It's also very purifying. And after a few breaths of ujjayi, then taking your awareness into allowing that breath, that ujjayi breath, to become so subtle that you hardly notice it's happening. It's barely got any sound. so that the focus becomes less physical and more working with the astral. Another 4 breaths, allowing that peace to arise within. There's a calmness that's running through the body, through the mind, just focusing on the breath. And then after our last exhale, taking your awareness back onto the brow. And we're going to mentally have 5 breaths where we are chanting Om on the brow. Because it's mental, it doesn't have to align to the inhale or the exhale, it can be continuous. Mentally chanting the sound of Om on the brow. This is raising our awareness to the highest. And then being aware that you are in a stream of pure white light, a stream of gold light, as a column of light flowing down from the highest, down into the dense realm of the earth, where you are playing your role. But standing in the stream of light, you're aware that your role is not you. That the name, the character that you are playing in this drama of life is not you. You have beamed down on this golden stream of light to play this part. And while you forget that you are playing this role, it can seem dense, heavy, and at times very difficult. But when you recall that you are this golden being of light who is playing out, who has donned the body as if wearing a gown, and we're going to allow our consciousness to rise in this column of light into the most beautiful spiritual garden. Into the spiritual garden of your soul, which is always in full bloom. Allowing yourself to stand on the grass and really experience the vibrancy of the grass beneath your spiritual feet. The very air here seems more vibrant, that there is a translucence in the air which shimmers. And a spiritual vibration comes off all of the plants with a rainbow incandescence. If you look down at your own being, you'll see that you too are of rainbow light. And in this spiritual garden, you're going to meet the highest aspect of yourself, that part of yourself which has never incarnated, has never assumed any dross, and remains pure. So following the many paths in this garden to a quiet seat so that you can wait. In order to be receptive, you need to attune to the garden. So taking yourself to sit and absorb the vibration, the very fine vibrations all around. This garden shines with the sunlight of God. As you feel your vibration lifting, all manner of heaviness just floats or flies away, disappearing as motes into the translucent air. A great mantle of earthly heaviness, like a cloak, is lifted off. Again, disappearing in the translucent light. Just waiting as one pocket of denseness after another bursts like a bubble and is gone. Allowing a deep sense of acceptance to come in, sustained by the vibrancy, the light of this place that you knew well. And into that deepening quiet, you sense the approaching presence of a great being. The golden light of this great being arrives first, and then the form. And you can see it as yourself. And this great aspect of yourself comes forward and smiles. You can feel the love pouring from this great being, this great aspect of yourself. Great love and tenderness. Great compassion for all that you have experienced. And this heavenly aspect of yourself sits close to you so that you can gaze deeply into her eyes. And into the liquid depths of her eyes, you can see all the constellations of the many universes, great glory of light, and a deep sense of peace. Feeling yourself pouring into your heavenly aspect, so that you and she merge, become as one. Feeling the deep peace and expansion. Being in the quiet and that expansive love of who you really are. And opening that deep aspect of yourself that you had closed away. Perhaps it was too painful even to look at yourself, but in the presence of your highest aspect, opening that oubliette, that hidden place, and just letting the moths fly out. Great light of spirit comes in and lifts out that wounded aspect, instantaneously healed. Allowing that hidden area to vanish as if it had never been, to be absorbed back into the infinite. Just being aware of having greater expansion, an expansion that flows from the heart in all directions, bringing with it a great love of all beings. And then being aware that you are sitting on this bench in the garden beside your great spiritual self, and that you are able to ask her any questions that you need to find comfort or solace from, or solution. And seeing, hearing, feeling her loving response. basking in the light of your great spiritual self as she pours out her love. And she says, "Fear not, for I am with you." She pours herself into your heart so that she is now contained within your heart as a great sunburst of light, as a great outpouring of love. So as you walk around the garden, she is with you. You can feel her presence, her glory and brightness within your own chest. Extolling you to fear not, to tread softly, softly in your role in the earth, and to not become too attached. And then letting go of your spiritual garden, taking this highest aspect of yourself who is with you in the heart, who has always been with you. As you beam your awareness back down into your physical form, this shell of a body that is bursting at the seams to contain your great presence, your great light, your great love. Aware of that brightness, that light, pouring down into the arms and hands, pouring down into the legs and feet, from its emanation in the centre of the heart as a great brightness. Visualizing that great light burning away any physical dross, any toxins, any physical illness, burning away like a cool fire within the veins of the body. Purifying your physical shell so that it is a suitable vessel for your lightness. Know that you now walk softly on the earth, and then taking the awareness back into physically moving fingers, moving toes, letting the breath be more noticeable, rubbing the hands together to create a warmth in the hands, cupping the hands over the closed eyes, and letting the light from the hands transfer into the eyes, along the optic nerves into the brain, awakening the brain to optimum, blinking open the eyes and coming back into the room. Om Shanti. Peace. So I suggest that you keep this lightness throughout the rest of the day as much as you can, and try and practice walking lightly Now, for most of us, that is indoors, so we're walking lightly from one room to the next. Thich Nhat Hanh suggests that we treat walking as a meditation. So walking lightly, placing each foot as if you were a tiger, placing each foot, you're that warrior of light, walking from room to room. Or if you're out in the sunlight, in your garden, then you're walking with each foot being placed mindfully. And continue in your connection. That soul self is in here, and you had connection with that today. That is in there. It's always been in there. It's always in the heart. That little seed in that furthest most locked in part of the heart, as was, but allowing that to now be open, like the spiritual flower that's opening, and let that light come out. What good did it do you when you had it all tightly wrapped in? It felt dreadful. It felt disconnected. So allowing it to be open, let that floodlight of light and that warmth of love flow out from the centre of your being, for that's who you truly are. So walking lightly this day. Om Shanti, everybody.
With warmest delight, this podcast was brought to you by Jenny Light. Find out more about Jenny's courses, retreats, workshops and publications at living-lightly.co.uk. Blessings on your spiritual path.